about adaptive immunity. The adaptive immune system consists of lymphocytes and their products, including antibodies. The lymphocytes of adaptive immunity use highly diverse receptors to recognize a vast array of foreign substances. In the remainder of this introductory section, we focus on lymphocytes and the reactions of adaptive immune system. There are two types of adaptive immunity: humoral immunity, which protects against extracellular microbes and their toxins, and cell mediated immunity, which is responsible for defense against intracellular microbes and against cancers. Humoral immunity is mediated by B lymphocytes and their secreted products, that is antibodies, and cellular immunity is mediated by T lymphocytes. Both classes of lymphocytes express highly specific receptors for a wide variety of substances which are called antigens. Cells of adaptive immune system. Although T and B lymphocytes and their subsets are morphologically unimpressive and appear quite similar to one another, they are actually remarkably heterogeneous and specialized in molecular properties and functions. The major classes of lymphocytes and their functions in adaptive immunity. Okay, it is illustrated in figure. Lymphocytes and other cells involved in immune responses are not fixed in particular tissue, but constantly circulate among lymphoid and other tissues via the blood and lymphatic system. This feature promotes immune surveillance throughout the body and allow lymphocytes to home to any site of infection. In lymphoid organs, different classes of lymphocytes are anatomically segregated in such a way that they interact with one another only when stimulated to do so by encounters with antigen and other stimuli. Mature lymphocytes that have not encountered the antigen for which they are specific are said to be naive. After they are activated by recognition of antigens and other signals, lymphocytes differentiate into effector cells, which perform the function of eliminating microbes, and memory cells, which live in a state of heightened awareness, and they are able to react rapidly and strongly to combat the microbe in case it returns. The process of lymphocyte differentiation into effector and memory cell is summarized. Okay. Lymphocyte diversity. Lymphocytes specific for a large number of antigens exist before exposure to antigen, and when an antigen appears, it selectively activates the antigen specific cells. This fundamental concept is called clonal section. Lymphocytes of same specificity are said to constitute a clone. All members of one clone express identical antigen receptors, which are different from the receptors in all other clones. There are about 10 to the power 12 lymphocytes in a healthy adult, and it is estimated that there are 10 to the power 7 to 10 to the power 9 clones, each expressing receptors specific for different antigen. It follows that the number of cells specific for any one antigen is very small, probably fewer than 1 in 1 lakh lymphocytes. It is remarkable that so few cells with a particular specificity can accomplish the difficult task of combating various microbes. The immune system has developed many mechanisms for optimizing reactions to microbial antigens. It is also remarkable that the system is capable of producing so many receptors, far more than could be individually coded in the genome. The mechanisms by which this happens are now well understood and have many interesting clinical implications. Antigen receptor diversity is generated by somatic recombination of the genes that encode antigen receptors. All cells of body, including lymphocyte progenitors, contain antigen receptor genes in the germline configuration, in which the gene encoding these receptors consists of spatially separated segments that cannot be expressed as mRNA. During lymphocyte maturation, These gene segments are assembled by recombination and DNA sequence variation is introduced at the sites where the gene segments are joined. This creates many different genes that can be transcribed and translated into antigen receptors with diverse amino acid sequences, particularly in the region of receptor that recognize and bind antigen. The enzyme in developing lymphocytes that mediates recombination of these gene segments is the product of RAG1 and RAG2. RAG, that is recombination activating gene. Inherited defects in RAG protein results in a failure to generate mature lymphocytes. Important to note that germline antigen receptors gene are present in all cells in the body, but only T and B cells contain recombined antigen receptor genes. Hence, the presence of recombined T cell receptors or Ig genes, which can be demonstrated by molecular analysis, is a marker of T or B lineage cells. Furthermore, because each T or B cells and its clonal progeny have a unique DNA rearrangement, it is possible to distinguish polyclonal lymphocyte proliferations from monoclonal lymphoid tumors by assessing the diversity of antigen receptor rearrangements within a population of lymphocytes. Thus, assays that assess the clonality of antigen receptor gene rearrangements are useful in diagnosing lymphoid neoplasms. Here, take a look that polyclonal lymphocyte proliferations are non-neoplastic and those which are monoclonal are neoplastic. T lymphocytes. There are three major populations of T cells which serve distinct function. Helper T lymphocytes stimulate B lymphocytes to make antibodies and activate other leukocytes to destroy microbes. Cytotoxic T lymphocytes kill the infected cells, and regulatory T lymphocytes limit immune responses and prevent reaction against self-antigens. T lymphocytes develop in the thymus from precursors that arise from hematopoietic stem cells. Mature T cells are found in the blood, where they constitute 60% to 70% of lymphocytes, and in T cell zones of secondary lymphoid organs. Each T cell recognizes a specific cell-bound antigen by means of an antigen-specific T cell receptor. In approximately 95% of the T cells, the T cell receptor consists of a disulfide linked heterodimer made up of an alpha and a beta polypeptide chain, each having a variable region and a constant region. The alpha-beta T cell receptor recognizes peptide antigens that are bound to and presented by major histocompatibility complex molecules on the surface of antigen presenting cells. By limiting the specificity of T cells for peptide displayed by cell surface MHC molecules called MHC restriction, the immune system ensures that T cells see only cell associated antigens. Each T cell receptor is non-covalently linked to 6 polypeptide chains which form the CD3 complex and side chain dimer. The CD3 and Cy proteins are invariant in all T cells. They are involved in the transduction of signals into the T cell that are triggered by binding of antigen to T cell receptor. Together with the T cell receptors, these proteins form TCR complex. A small population of mature T cell expresses another type of T cell receptor composed of gamma and delta polypeptide chains. The gamma delta T cell receptors recognizes peptides, lipids, and small molecules without a requirement for display by MHC proteins. Gamma delta T cells tend to aggregate at epithelial surfaces such as the skin and the mucosa of the GI, that is gastrointestinal and urogenital tracts, suggesting that these cells are sentinels that protect against microbes that try to enter through epithelia. However, the function of gamma delta T cells are not established. Another small subset of T cell expresses markers that are also found on the NK cells, that is natural killer cells. These cells are called NK T cells. NK T cells expresses a very limited diversity of T cell receptors, and they recognize glycolipids that are displayed by the MHC-like molecule CD1. The function of NK T cells are also not well defined. In addition to CD3 and Cy proteins, the T cell expresses several other proteins that assist the TCR complex in functional responses. These include CD4, CD8, CD28, and integrins. CD4 and CD8 are expressed on two mutually exclusive subsets of alpha-beta T cells. Normally, approximately 60% of the mature T cells have CD4+, and about 30% are CD plus 8. Most CD4 plus T cells functions as cytokine secreting helper cells that assist macrophages and B lymphocytes to combat infections. Most CD plus 8 cells function as cytotoxic T cells that destroy host cell harboring microbes. CD4 and CD8 serve as co-receptors. T cell activation. During antigen recognition, CD4 molecule bind to class 2 MHC molecule that are displaying antigens. CD8 molecules bind to class 1 MHC molecules, and the CD4 or CD8 co-receptors initiate signals that are necessary for activation of T cells. Because of this requirement of co-receptors, CD4 plus helper T cells can recognize and respond to antigen displayed only by class 2 MHC molecules, whereas CD8 plus cytotoxic T cell recognizes cells bound antigens only in association with class 1 MHC molecules. This segregation is described later. Integrins are adhesion molecules that promote the attachment of T cell to antigen presenting cells. To respond, T cells have to not only recognize antigen MHC complexes but also have to receive additional signals provided by antigen presenting cells. B lymphocytes. B lymphocytes are the only cells in the body capable of producing antibodies, the mediators of humoral immunity. B lymphocytes develop from precursors in the bone marrow. Mature B cells constitute 10% to 20% of the lymphocytes in the blood, and they are also present in the peripheral lymphoid tissues such as lymph nodes, spleen, and mucosa associated lymphoid tissues. B cells recognize antigen via B cell antigen receptor complex. Membrane-bound antigens of the IgM and IgD isotypes present on the surface of mature naive B cells are the antigen binding components of B cell receptor complex. After stimulation by the antigen and other signals, B cells develop into plasma cells, veritable protein factors for producing antibodies as well as long-lived memory cells. It is estimated that a single plasma cell can secrete hundreds to thousands of antibodies molecules per second, a remarkable measure of power of immune response for combating pathogens. In addition to membrane Ig, the B cell antigen receptor complex contains a heterodimer of two invariant proteins called Ig alpha and Ig beta. Similar to the CD3 and Psi protein of the TCR complex, Ig alpha and Ig beta are essential for signal transduction in response to antigen recognition. B cells also expresses several other molecules that are essential for their responses. These include the type 2 complement receptors, which recognizes complement products generated during innate immune response to microbes, and CD40, which receives signals from helper T cells. Complement receptor 2 is also used by Epstein-Barr virus as a receptor to enter and infect the B cells. Dendritic cells. Dendritic cells are the most important antigen presenting cells for the initiating T cell responses against protein antigens. These cells have numerous fine cytoplasmic processes that resemble dendrites, from which they derive their name. Several features of the dendritic cells account for their key role in antigen presentation. First, these cells are located at the right place to capture antigens under epithelia, the common site of entry of microbes, foreign antigens, and in the interstitia of all tissues where antigens may be produced. Immature dendritic cells within the epidermis are called Langerhans cells. Second, dendritic cells expresses many receptors for capturing and responding to microbes, including toll-like receptors and lectins. Third, in response to microbes, dendritic cells are recruited to the T cell zone of lymphoid organ, where they are ideally located to present the antigen to the naive T cell. Fourth, dendritic cells expresses high levels of MHC and other molecules needed for antigen presentation and T cell activation. A second type of cell with dendritic morphology is present in the germinal centers of the lymphoid follicles, in spleen and lymph node, and it is called follicular dendritic cells. These cells bear Fc receptors for IgG and receptors for C3b and can trap antigen bound to antibodies or complement proteins. They play a role in humoral immune responses by presenting antigens to B cells, and in the germinal centers, parts of process through which only B cells that expresses antibodies with high affinity for antigens survive and go on to mature into plasma cells or memory cells. Macrophages. Macrophages are part of mononuclear phagocyte system their origin, differentiation, and role in inflammation are discussed. Okay, so here their important functions in the induction and effector phases of adaptive immune responses are discussed. Macrophages that have phagocytosed microbes and protein antigens process the antigens and present peptide fragments to the T cell. Thus, macrophages function as antigen-presenting cell in T cell activation. Macrophages are key effector cells in certain forms of cell-mediated immunity. The reaction that serves to eliminate intracellular microbes. In this type of response, T cell activate macrophages and enhance their ability to kill ingested microbes. Macrophages also participate in the effector phase of humoral immunity. Macrophages efficiently phagocytose and destroy microbes that are opsonized by the IgG or complement 3b. So, tissues of immune system. The tissues of immune system consist of primary lymphoid organs in which T and B lymphocytes mature and become competent to respond to antigens, and the secondary lymphoid organs in which adaptive immune responses to microbes are initiated. Primary lymphoid organs. The principal primary lymphoid organ are the thymus, where T cells develop, and the bone marrow, the site of production of all blood cells including naive B cell. Now the secondary lymphoid organs. That is lymph node, spleen, and the mucosal and cutaneous lymphoid tissues are the tissues where adaptive immune responses occur. Several features of these organs promote the generation of adaptive immunity. Antigens are concentrated in these organs. Naive lymphocytes circulate through them, searching for the antigens. And different lymphocyte populations are brought together when they need to interact. Lymph nodes. Lymph nodes are nodular aggregates of lymphoid tissues located along lymphatic channels throughout the body. As lymph slowly suffuses through lymph nodes, antigen-presenting cells are positioned to recognize the antigens. In addition, dendritic cells pick up and transport antigens to microbes from epithelia and tissues via lymphatic vessels to the lymph nodes. Thus, the antigens of microbes that enter through epithelia or colonized tissues become concentrated in draining lymph node. Because most foreign antigens enter through epithelia or are produced in tissues, lymph nodes are the site of generation of majority of adaptive immune responses. The spleen is an abdominal organ that serves the same role in immune responses to blood-borne antigen as the lymph node do in response to lymph-borne antigen. Blood entering the spleen flows through a network of sinusoids lined by macrophages and dendritic cells. Blood-borne antigens are trapped in the spleen by these cells. This can then initiate adaptive immune responses to these antigens. The cutaneous and mucosal lymphoid systems are located under the epithelia of the skin and the gastrointestinal and respiratory tract respectively. They respond to the antigens that enter through breaches in the epithelium. Pharyngeal tonsils and Peyer's patches of the intestine are two anatomically defined mucosal lymphoid tissue. At any time, a large fraction of the body's lymphocytes are in the mucosal tissues, and many of these are memory cells. Within the secondary lymphoid organ, naive T and B lymphocytes are segregated into different regions. In lymph nodes, the B cells are concentrated in discrete structures called follicles, located around the periphery or cortex of each node. If the B cells in a follicle have recently responded to an antigen, this follicle may contain a central region called a germinal center. The T lymphocytes are concentrated in the paracortex adjacent to follicles. The follicle contains the FTCs that are involved in the activation of B cells, and the paracortex contains the dendritic cells that present antigens to T lymphocytes. In the spleen, the lymphocytes are concentrated in periarteriolar lymphoid sheaths surrounding small arterioles, and B cells reside in follicles akin to those found in lymph nodes. Lymphocyte recirculation. Lymphocytes constantly recirculate between tissues and home to particular sites. Naive lymphocytes traverse the secondary lymphoid organ where immune responses are initiated and effector lymphocytes migrate to site of infection and inflammation. This process of lymphocyte recirculation is most important for T cells because naive T cells have to circulate through the secondary lymphoid organs where antigens are concentrated, and effector T cells have to migrate to the site of infection to eliminate microbes. In contrast, plasma cells remain in the lymphoid organ and the bone marrow and do not need to traffic to sites of infection because they secrete the antibodies that are carried through the blood to the distant tissues.